Hello and welcome to this very short and very gentle practice. This would be a perfect little practice to do just before bed, or just even if you're feeling really fatigued and need to really chill out. A little bit of breath work in this one that hopefully will assist with the same. So let's get started. We'll be in a seated position to begin. And so as you find a seated position, whether it's cross-legged or kneeling, you're welcome to sit on some cushions and get nice and comfortable. We'll start upright and then slowly make our way down towards the floor. So let's shut down the eyes and just take a moment to consolidate. Immediately, a nice deep breath in. Long breath out. Relax the shoulders, the eyes, and the jaw. Make a mental note to reserve these few moments just for your sense of well-being. We practice a healthy selfishness just for a brief period of time. And so as you bring well-being to mind, it immediately sets a boundary and a quality to your practice. And one of the best ways that we can practically go about kind of neutralizing, resetting, and keeping the body highly efficient is through the way that you breathe. And so here, go ahead and just take a few slower and deeper breaths. If you can, breathe in for about 5 seconds and breathe out for about 5 seconds. Let your belly feel loose and receptive to the breath. But let it flood right down into your lower back. Let it rise up into your chest. And let the exhale be smooth. Slow, easy, gentle. Shoulders not lifting at all. Shoulders stay soft. But there's nice swelling of the breath through the body. You can drop the count, but maintain just that rough pace. And let's bring a little bit of movement in. Blink open the eyes, raise the arms up towards the ceiling. Nice big breath in, and then twisting to your right. So right hand behind you onto the floor or something to grab a hold of. Left hand to your thigh or the knee. Lift through the lower back and twist through the chest. A breath or two there. Inhale, raise up the arms nice and high, twist the other direction, catch a hold of the knee or the thigh, hand behind you, propping up the spine for a breath or two. Back through to center, and let's roll over the knees, and if you're not already, come into a kneeling position. And as you kneel, again, raise up the arms, interlace your hands behind the lower back. Roll back the shoulders, pop up the chest, let the shoulder blades drop down. We'll take just a breath or two more here, squeezing the palms and the shoulder blades. Final breath. Release. 2 hands to the floor, come into tabletop, hands and knees position. Just take a couple of rounds of cat-cow. Inhale to dip the belly down. Exhale to arch up through your spine. 1 or 2 more. Inhale, dip. Exhale to arch. Returning to a neutral spine. Go ahead, a bit of a funny one here. Lift your left knee, cross it over your left shin or the calf, and then send that left leg back. So if you're familiar, it's something like half pigeon, but not exactly. And just make a little bit of a rocking movement here, left to right. So I'd say you feel it in the hip pretty quickly, in the glute. It's more just to get a feel for it. We'll just take a breath or two more here. And then back to tabletop, hands and knees. Be really gentle with this. Pick up your right knee, cross it over the left calf, and then send it back. Hips going backwards. Notice you got the hands there for good support. The chest is still fairly lifted. And not trying to push anything. Just a little bit of a movement, a rock through the hips. Another breath or two. And then back to tabletop position. Hands and knees. And go ahead and very gently walk the knees back, walk the hands forward, and sink the hips down. And just a couple of rounds of rolling cobra. As you inhale, lift the hips, lift the chest rather, and then lower straight back down. Let's take a couple more. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. And last one. Inhale up. And exhale to release. Push back through the tabletop, hands and knees. And then very gently, do your best. And sort of step your right foot outside your right hand and then wriggle it in towards the middle of your mat. Bring the hands up onto your right knee. And now let the hips sink forward and down. Chest lifting up and back. Squeeze your left glute. We're just going to take 2 or 3 more breaths here. More of an introduction to the shape rather than trying to push it. Last big breath. Release. 2 hands to the floor. Edge that foot out, maybe hand inside the foot. Step it back. Tabletop. Now a bit of a funny one here. Walk the hands forward. Sink the hips straight forward and down. Bit of a cobra. And then straight back into that tabletop position. Left foot outside the left hand. Heel toe it in. Lift the chest. Hands to the knee. And sink the hips. So again, be really mild. You're not trying to look for like a maximum stretch here. Chest pushing back in contrast. Just 2 or 3 breaths. And then release. Hands inside the front foot, heel toe it back. Step it back. This time, walk the hands forward. Lower yourself all the way down until you're flat. And 2 or 3 times. Inhale, lift up the chest. Cobra. Exhale to lower down. Let's do 1 more, in fact. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower back down. And now pushing back to child's pose. So knees wide, hips sinking down to the heels. We let the head rest, the forehead rest. Take a couple of easy breaths. And then come up to tabletop position. Take your legs out to the side and then out in front of you. And then as you arrive, you'll find a bit of a modified Gomukhasana kind of position. So bring the left ankle back towards your right hip. Bring the right ankle up on top of the knee there. Lift through the lower back and then start to bow forwards. Any amount. If this is not working out at all, come to a loose cross-legged position and bow forward nonetheless. Even if the foot is more up on the calf, that's all good too. We take a good few breaths here. Relax the shoulders, relax the jaw. We're kind of just sort of dabbling in each posture. We're not trying to ask too much of them. You know, we haven't really warmed up the body in a big way. So just more of an inquiry into the posture rather than a demand. We'll just go 1 or 2 more breaths. And then lifting up the chest. And then from here, you got your right leg on top. Bring your right hand down to the side of your body. left hand reaching up into a little bit of a side bend. So this might be a little bit strong for some of us. So keep on thinking about reaching up more than sideways. Don't push the hips too hard. We're only going to take 2 more big breaths, and we're getting into this little bit of a side bend. Keeping the breath moving. Last big breath now. And then lifting up. Release that top leg, and we'll just switch it onto the other side. If you need a little windscreen wipe in between, please feel free to take it. And as soon as you're ready, other leg on the bottom, other leg on the top. Make it really a nice gentle entry. So lower back lifted, bow and fold forward. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Shoulders softening. A few easy breaths here. Smooth on the exhale, soft through the shoulders and the neck. You've got this whole mood of gentleness in the body. No force, no demand. There's just this nurturing feeling in every little thing that you're doing for the body right now. Keep the mouth nice and soft, lips nice and soft. Last couple of breaths, 2 or 3 maybe. With an inhale, lifting up. Left hand down by the side, right hand up, and then leaning over. And so the position on the legs is kind of locking that bottom leg down and creating a nice anchor to lean away from into the side bend. But again, feel that upward lift taking you into the side body. Couple more breaths here. Strong little shape, I think. Inhale, back out. Again, release the legs. Little windscreen wipe might be nice. Drop the knees from side to side. And then taking the legs out nice and wide. Walk your sitting bones back. Lift through your lower back. And then start to walk the hands forward and bow forward. Maybe we stay up on the fingertips. Nice little inbuilt prop, a little kickstand. Or make your way further down. Palms, elbows beyond maybe for some of us. Take a few moments, let it sink and settle in here, gently and softly. Again, we just feel this nice openness through the breathing pathways. A feeling here of saturating your lower back with breath. You let it expand downwardly, spread and expand, swell up into the torso. Exhale is gentle and easy. Two more breaths. Inhale, chest lifts up, and then gently closing up the legs, bend the knees, grab a hold of the knees, and roll down onto your back. Once you've come down, again, place the feet on the floor, mat width apart, and drop the knees from side to side. Get a little bit of twisting going through the hips and through the legs. And then lifting the legs up towards the ceiling, slide your thumbs underneath the outside of the hips, or alternatively, you grab some pillows and put it underneath your tailbone or the lower back. Alternatively, again, you could take your legs up a wall if you're near one, And we let this posture be as effortless as possible, especially where your belly connects to your thighs. Let that space be really soft, really soft. Even if you want to bend the knees and kind of let the thighs drop back a little bit, all more than welcome. Don't have to have perfectly straight legs here. And so this kind of inversion is not so much about flexibility, not so much about strength. And so it naturally is a bit more about the experience, the sensation of the posture. So notice sort of the energetic impact of it. Notice how it feels through the body. Nice to be off the feet. Another few breaths. And then a release. Bring the feet down just for a moment. You might just drop the knees together for a brief moment and create a little tent through the legs. So feet wide, knees together. Breath or two more. And then draw your right knee in towards your chest. Kick the left leg out to the ground. And let's go into a twist. So guide that right leg across the body. You might scooch your hips underneath you a little bit and open out your right shoulder. Nice and soft through the right shoulder. Let it sink, let it settle. The whole rib cage feels like it's rotating downward towards the floor. 2 or 3 more breaths here. Inhale, back up through the center. Hug the left knee in towards the chest. Kick out the right leg. And then over you go. Open out the shoulder. Soften the ribs, soften the shoulder. A beautiful feeling of release deep into the belly. The exhales deepening the posture. Last breath. Inhaling, back up through the center. Hug the knees towards the chest and let's come on down to Shavasana to follow that. Legs to the floor. I'm going to guide you in to Shavasana. Get the shoulders nice and comfortably tucked underneath you. Going to work with a little bit of breath retention. And in this one, we're going to hold the breath out of the body, but I'll guide you through. Just let your breath swell, let it be a little deeper, a little slower, just for a couple of rounds. Now it's really important that in the little practice we do now, that you don't exceed what's comfortable. So just work to whatever feels appropriate. No stress, no strain, no demands. So let's work with holding the breath out. It's going to be fairly intuitive. Take a nice deep breath in. Complete breath out all the way to the bottom. Calm breath into the top. Gentle. Now breathing out, go all the way to the bottom. And at the bottom, hold the breath out. As long as you like to. Let the belly feel soft. When you need breath, take it. To follow, let your breathing return to normal. We're going to do it 2 more times. As you're ready, deep breath in. Complete breath out. Get rid of all the breath. Calm breath in now. And then just let your breath float out. And then hold the breath out at the bottom. No strain. When you need breath, take it. And to follow, we let the breath just settle back into a nice, easy rhythm. No effort. Just let the body adjust. We let it settle. We let it sink in for a moment. Third and final round. Deep breath in. Empty out the breath all the way to the bottom. Get rid of it. Calmly back in. Calmly out to the bottom. Hold the breath out. Become aware of that wonderful stillness that's there in the bottom of the exhale. Normal breathing to follow. And we sink and settle into Shavasana. As you find Shavasana, become aware of all of the contact points between the back of the body and the floor. Let your attention spread through your body, becoming aware of all of those contact points at once. So you've got this broad awareness through your body, and not focused on any one thing, just the entire experience of your body. The natural and gentle rise and fall of your belly. No control over your breathing, just aware of that rise and fall. Take a little step back from yourself. Disengage. Feel the body get heavy. Muscles relaxing and dissolving. Shoulders, ribs, hands, hips, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, feet and toes. Eyes completely relaxed, forehead soft. Cheeks soft and jaw relaxed. Complete effortlessness into rest. Bring your attention into the space around you and take some slightly deeper breaths. Take some very gentle movement, fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Have a stretch if you want to, but I like to just turn off to a side. Be really slow and considerate as you make your way up to a seated position. I'll keep the eyes closed. And if you're called to, bring the hands to prayer at heart center. We recognize any shift that might have taken place in the body. We let this residue, we let this feeling through the body, the result of the practice, ripple into the rest of the day. We let it affect the coming moments. With that in mind, we give thanks and appreciation, especially to yourself. We take a humble bow. We say namaste. Big love to you. Take care. Many thanks and see you again soon.